It's showtime. Dead air is not great. Dead air is not great.
For an audio show?
Bring me everyone.
Oh,
What do you mean
Why
everyone?
can't we have dead air?
welcome to Everyone Racers.
This is a show designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture.
It doesn't matter what kind of limit chance.
Or Lucky Track Dog League you run.
SCCA or NASA, we won't discriminate.
As long as you drive it hard and built it yourself.
Join us each week for tech discussions.
Tips, tricks, as well as news and notes from the world of amateur endurance racing.
And whether it's on the spot,
Hella sweet.
Or we're lucky enough,
and Chrissy,
and Chrissy,
I give you just the tip.
we're sure you'll giggle a little.
and learn even less.
Everyone report to the paddock.
Are you guys
Hello?
not talking?
No, the
The
in my
ending.
ears, the
the
ending kind of
ending
skipped a little bit.
didn't
and
go
I wasn't
well.
sure if it was totally done yet, and I was waiting to see if it was going to.
I think it was a
yeah.
Giga Blast on your end at the very end, not the video. I think it was just because it was you were playing it.
Right.
Anyway,
Just because it was
Well,
new, I wasn't
yeah,
sure if it was
fair enough.
done.
Little-
and I was-
little-
okay.
Little
So-
leftover party from last week's episode.
Yeah, totally.
super
Hey,
fun.
everyone report to the paddock. This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
And I'm mental.
We're Everyone Racers. Welcome to a really stupid fast episode. It's episode 331, which happens to be the totally lied about the top speed of the SCC Tuatara with the $1.6 million price tag. This kart was built for beating the world record for fastest production car, but the best they could do was 297. So if you are covering 1.5 football fields a second in a car, get out your finger card, which we haven't finished yet, but we're still thinking about it. However, you heard about the Tuatara here first. Watch the unveiling here.
I think we legit did have a world premiere on that.
We totally, for like the longest time, it was our highest ranking
Yeah.
video. Yeah.
You can see it here. I watched it last night. It's super fun. It's a little
Great.
shaky, but whatever. What's your... Oh, wait. That's not where you do tip for the show. Mental. Because I know what Chris has been working on. So go ahead.
Okay. Well, I am obviously not in my normal location. I am in beautiful suburban Hiram, Georgia. At my folks' house, recovering from Barber.
What part is where
Hiram.
outside? Yeah. What part of
Yeah,
Georgia?
about 45 minutes north of Atlanta.
Okay. I'm familiar.
Yeah, actually, about 90 minutes east-ish of Barber itself. So
Got it.
yeah, so I
So
flew
you had
in.
you had a nice travel
Yeah.
home after the race then.
Right. Yeah. Very easy, which actually brings us to the part because I flew in Thursday, very late Thursday. I got the car, drove to the track, drove here, and it's time to play
Guess the rental.
Guess the Rental.
Okay.
I have never rented this before. It is from
Oh, Giga Blast.
a
This is not going to go well.
oh gosh.
Huh,
Okay.
nope.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Check it off in your bingo card if you're not looking at it.
Giga blasting. I have never rented this before. It was from I got it on Priceline, but it's from like a real rental agency. It's not like Bob's Rental. It was a supplier's choice.
Supplier's choice, and it's a real rental car company. He didn't say it's like a major real rental car company. So I'm gonna say you were in the B tier of rental car companies. This is not National or Hertz. This
what's
is
a
like
B?
this is
But
like
it's owned
or
by
Sixth.
it's owned 'cause
Payless.
there's only like 3 rental car companies. It's owned by one of the big ones.
okay.
Dollar.
All right, but it's their choice. Okay, so we gotta start with some basics. Now it's their choice, so we know it could be absolutely anything realistically. So,
What?
does it
What
have
were you-
a trunk or a hatchback?
Ooh, good question. It actually has a hatchback.
Okay, it's a good start.
What were your parameters for taking this car? Were you picking up other people? Did you need to sleep in it?
Mm.
Were you
Well,
planning on
remember,
sleeping on it?
he doesn't get a choice. This was supplier's choice. This is basically he shows up and they say
Oh,
whatever.
Right.
It's
But
like
I
whatever
chose
they want to give
supplier's
him.
choice. Chose supplier's choice because it was $1 extra than the cheapest possible thing. And I
okay.
figured I would take the chance because
You
I didn't need to sleep in it. I just needed it to get me places.
want a spark, so you're gonna hope that you get something bigger than that.
Which I
Oh, that was a
did.
good face.
Yes,
What?
it was the Chevy Spark. I initially was going that route, but it actually is bigger and nicer than a Chevy Spark.
Okay, and
Okay.
you weren't necessarily okay.
Then
Go ahead.
I'm gonna go to country of origin of the nameplate.
Ooh, because if I tell you that, you're gonna get it. But
Well,
it's a valid
it's a
question.
reasonable question. It's not saying what kind it is. Country of origin of the nameplate.
Sweden.
Okay. Well, that does narrow it down, certainly.
Yes, I think so. SUV or
Well, he
sedan.
said it he said it at a hatchback already.
Can it be a?
He already said it. He
Can
already
it be
said
a?
it at a hatchback.
Can it be an
No.
SUV with a hatchback?
He said it had a hatchback, which basically means it's an SUV. It's
No,
not a
no, it's
sedan.
not. No, it's not. No. Actually, it is a sedan. It has a hatchback,
It's like a non-SUV, short one.
like car.
Car. Okay, car with a hatchback. Hmm.
I mean, it's
Hmm.
got to be it's Swedish, so it's a Volvo, so it's a V70 or whatever, no, V60. V60. It's the only thing that they make that's not an SUV that has a hatchback.
Not true. Chrissy, do you venture a guess?
I don't know Volvos well enough to know which one is. Is it older? Is it like a?
No, it's a
Would be
relatively
Can't be that old.
new one. Yeah.
Chris is
All right,
Googling.
go for it.
I don't know my Volvos well enough. So
It's a Polestar.
That's okay.
I got a 4-door Polestar all electric sedan, and it actually has a hatch and the seats fold down. It's like an electric big Mazda 3.
Yeah. Great.
Googling now.
Well, great. How
How
do
did you like
then?
it?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go now. Continue the review. Come on.
I don't. It's not a bad car. Actually, it's a pretty good car. It's stable. It's you can feel the heft of all the batteries and everything. The range is not good, and all of the robot car features that we've come to expect with electric vehicles, they're terrible. The lane keeping assist, I'm better off just jamming it with my knee and eating a burger and fries while I'm driving down the road than using that. And either it's disabled or I have not found a way to activate the radar guided cruise control. So that's terrible. And but aside from that, I mean, it's a decent car. I got 70% battery power when I drove away from Atlanta. It was 180 miles to Barber, and I still had to stop and get a charge for about 30 minutes. Went to a Waffle
As I
House.
say, Polestar.
Wow.
As soon as it's a Polestar 2, they
Yes.
have numbers as 2, 3, and 4. Okay.
So it's
But now you say there was a charger at the Waffle House.
No, they had a charger at the Walmart parking lot, and there was a Waffle House
And
a half a block away. So, and it's the only thing that's open at 2:00 in the morning because I landed just before midnight, got all my crap, got to the rental car counter right before they closed, and got out. Perhaps you've heard about some of the weather we were having out west. So, yeah.
apparently it was amazing.
I lucked out. I
and
lucked out
beautiful and sunny.
What happened to that foot of
my flight.
sunshine you're usually talking about that you woke up to?
I got a foot of sunshine.
That's what they have today.
Oh.
As we speak, Vicky is downtown Las Vegas
Oh.
checking out all of the Super Bowl celebrations. She's watching the Clydesdale to
Oh,
the
yeah.
Budweiser things who do down the strip. So yeah, it's pretty there now. But yeah, we had that atmospheric river that we got like a little chunk of it. And my flight was slightly delayed, and then just getting in, and then waiting in line.
Okay.
Waiting
Great.
in line. Screw that.
Yeah, pretty much.
For a
Yeah.
car?
I
No.
had to get to the track.
No.
So.
Well, that's why we
No,
just
I know.
gave you
I
the
just
kind that you
don't
don't
like
have to
waiting
wait in
line.
line for. Anyway.
Like,
All
why
right, let's
talk to
keep going.
somebody?
Great.
Okay.
Chrissy, you go.
We were not here last week because we were on vacation. I didn't tell you where we went because I didn't want you to break into my house. So we went to Cancun for my 40th birthday. So yes. And then we came home and then we were home for some of the weekend. I did a deep clean of the house because we're very clean people, but it needed some just pick it up. And then my parents threw me a surprise 40th birthday party. They had my best friend Allison came over and her family, and we had a great time. So
Oh,
very
well,
surprised. Yes, it was great.
that is awesome.
Yes, that's what I did. Chris did a lot
Hey,
more
that's-
car things than I did.
That's not the only birthday on the screen right now, is it?
It's true. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Chris. Happy birthday to you. Yay!
And I'm cheating because the only reason I know this is you are exactly 7 days ahead of me on my birthday, which
And
will
I'm
be
This
our
is exactly 7 days ahead of me.
correct.
So,
It
yeah.
makes this easy to remember our birthdays.
birthday season.
Birthday season. Yay.
Birthday's
We're
on a
all
Tuesday. It's
right.
great.
We literally cleaned out the fridge for dinner. So, and you did have a scoop of ice
Yay,
cream.
leftovers. Yeah, one scoop of ice cream. That's all I had. Anyway,
We had leftovers of
man,
leftovers.
we are living it up.
Ice cream
Old.
tastes like sad.
Well,
Oh, it's good ice cream.
there
It
was
just
good
is all
ice
I
cream.
had.
The dinner
Yeah.
was sad. So,
Yeah.
and then we have full night of stuff tonight. But that's
Uh,
okay.
Came back to
He's
a harsh reality after paradise for a week, but my
He's-
liver was
Yeah,
about to
no
wave a
matter
white
what,
flag.
it was
and-
going to be a letdown. I mean, yeah.
correct.
Oh, yeah.
Correct.
doubt.
Coming back to
Absolutely no doubt.
Pennsylvania from Cancun, sir. Yes.
Yeah.
All the above.
Okay. So, I guess I've been working on cars and stuff. Civic, we put another coat of paint on the interior. It looks pretty darn nice. Got the fire system almost done now, which is good. Cage padding almost finished. Batteries back in and all the cables run. So Civic is making good, steady progress along, which is nice. The Porsche decided it wanted some more attention after I got it all back together from all the work I did.
They'll do that.
Yeah. It threw a secondary air injection code after it was running great and I had the alignment done. Everything was wonderful through that. So I then said, okay, I'm going to have to learn about the secondary air injection system in a 986. But I figured that it was probably something that related to something I was doing because it didn't have that problem before. And I messed around with a bunch of stuff. So let's see. Turns out there's a vacuum source in the intake manifold that the SAI system uses. And some point in the car's life when it had been worked on, someone had knocked the little nipple that goes into there's a rubber spot in the intake manifold, knocked that out of place a little bit. So it didn't fit very well. And I noticed it didn't fit very well. I didn't want it to come loose because it's hard to, it's a slight pain in the ass to get to the engine on the Boxster on the top. You got to put the top up in service mode and take a bunch of stuff off. So I put a dab of Honda Bond on it before I put it back so that I'd hold it together. Well, it turns out I put too much of a dab. It actually clogged that piece. But taking it out, taking the intake manifold off, let me actually fix it properly by repositioning the intake boot on the intake manifold for the passenger side to be able to get that piece to fit in correctly so that it's actually now very well fixed. And except that it's actually fixed it. Chrissy and I got in to go somewhere and it had a cylinder 3 misfire. So I was like, oh man. So I had to take it back apart and there was nothing wrong with it. Cylinder 3 was the side I was working on. It was the passenger side toward the back of the car. That's the cylinder. So I'm looking at it. I figure I knocked an injector plug because I had to loosen the fuel rail, move it out of the way. So I figured I loosened a plug on something. So I got to that point, moved stuff around, looked at it, seemed fine. So started the car up, fine. Then I put the stuff all back on, and then I went and drove it, and it's all well now. So anyway, I'll take it to work tomorrow, see how that goes.
Hope so. Hope you make it. If
I'm
not,
sure I'll make it.
a AAA is you can call. I got a screw in my tire today. Wow.
Yep. But you made it home. Now it's in the back of the Cadillac, so you can drop at the tire place tomorrow.
The
great.
Mercedes, I presume.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
It's always nice when you get the flat tire that when you take the tire off, you clearly see what the problem is. It's not that
Yeah.
bad.
No
and it's
mystery to
repairable.
it. Yeah.
And
Right.
I know we've talked a lot about 422. 422 is full of potholes. It sucks. It is really bad. And they're not going to fix it until we're done with cold and plowing. So it's a minefield. Driving
living. Until we're done
Ever.
living. Yeah, ever.
Right.
I feel like
they'll fill the car decapitating ones. It won't be great, but they will fill the ones that are going to take your wheels off. And so I was very concerned when this happened because I was hoping it wasn't part of the wheels.
Unfortunately, you have the winter wheels, the winter 18s on, which are the OEM
It
wheels.
saved me a couple times.
Right. Yeah.
At least once a trip, I go, is
That's
it
why we're not putting the 20s on again until
we have to April, May, maybe.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
not rolling those dubs until that weather's up to spec, yo.
Well, the
Right.
weather's one thing, but the road is another. So yes.
Yeah.
Okay. There's an Oh, you knew you were going to mention we were going to mention Hamilton signing Ferrari for 2025. Mental kept crying. You also knew that we were going to discuss Christian Horner being investigated internally by Red Bull because of his complaints involving an air quotes aggressive management style. What we can't talk about is the undoubtedly amazing shakeups that will happen in 2 days between us recording and you listening. If you didn't know, Lewis Hamilton will be replacing the only non-Red Bull driver to win a GP in 23. That's Carlos Sainz. While that's happening, Red Bull released a statement confirming a Dutch article that the championship winning team has stated an independent into inappropriate behavior by the team principal. Statement said this process, which is already underway, is being carried out by an external specialist barrister.
English for attorney.
He has a meeting with Red Bull on Friday. Ooh, he's in trouble.
I don't know, aggressive management. This doesn't happen for aggressive management. I think it was dick pics. I mean, it's always dick pics when this kind of thing happens.
And
Which, let's be honest, that could have just been a picture of his face.
Not true. Yep. Yep.
Sorry, is my opinion of Horner showing?
Every picture of Horner is a dick pic. Yep. Got it.
That's good. I don't know why I never put those two together. That's hilarious. Yes. Why? And to whom? And why? Why? I mean, it's not like Christian Horner has enough money. He probably would be happy to just go away into the sunset, even if it's a dishonorable discharge kind of thing. Whatever. He's got ginger spice and beautiful kids. Just go somewhere else.
Married to a Spice Girl. And as we talked about in our Slack, no one wants dick pics. My gay friends don't want dick pics.
Nope.
So why would you do that? Why? Or whatever you did. Why?
Yeah.
That's dumb. Yeah, because aggressive, isn't everybody, just about everybody in F1 is pretty aggressive, especially team principals.
Yeah. Except for Toto.
He has his moment.
Toto throws his his headphones off and bangs them on the table, and he has lip reading.
That was a colossal fuck up.
Right? There's lip reading of him cursing in the booth. So you don't think that he's aggressive? Come on. Most of the time, he's fairly even keeled. But for everybody, we have seen every single one of the team principals be aggressive. Well, nobody's looking into an independent.
And that's only because
Mike
two
Crack
of them
is
have
always
actually
pretty smooth. You
know, is he a team principal?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Well, and also it's you have to establish like two
like
Mike team principals. Two of the team principals.
Yeah, I sure do.
F1 have gone to prison.
Wait, say again. I'm sorry. Chris and I were having
have gone to prison. They've actually like Zach Brown and Lawrence Stroll have done jail for various financial crimes. Before they were team principals, but yeah.
Oh, yes.
You got to get there somehow.
So I don't believe in it for a hot second.
No.
All right.
No dick pics.
And speaking of that, it's an election year, which means that your social media feed and ours, as well as the news, is now a dystopian hellscape of half-baked ideas, rejection of civility, robotic repetition of our side good, other side bad. Fortunately,
who wrote this one? I have no idea.
And all of this is a new podcast from Ross Bentley, Jeff Braun, and Sam Smith. Quote, a podcast about the people who win, but also the ones who lose. the people who think and don't, who make things, break them, triumph, who change the world, get famous, get nothing, save it, crash, learn, and above all else, give us every reason to love this mad sport. Now, it launched at the start of the year, and they are 4 episodes in. It is called It's Not the Car. It's worth a subscribe. It's at least worth a listen. Links in our show notes. Tell them everyone Racers sent you, because I still want to get Sam on here when he releases his self-published autobiography. Well, it's a collection of a self-published collection of his writings this year.
Ah, thank you. Thank you. Have you listened?
I have. I like it.
Do you?
It's you're getting the nice, the very even keeled Jeff Braun. If you've ever listened to him on Ross Bentley's podcast, he's the engineer, and he talks like an engineer, but he doesn't use engineer words, but he's going to be very even keeled. He's going to explain it. You've got Ross Bentley, who is just this absurdly upbeat person who had a brilliant driving career, but I think I would argue that he's even defined what a driving coach should be in his post-racing career.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then you've got Sam Smith, who's just, the great, wacky, fun-loving guy who got to drive Jim Clark's Lotus at Indy 500 when he was riding for Road and Track. And so you've got this great element of people that
Sam's
just
a
like
good
racing.
storyteller.
He is a fantastic storyteller. Yes. So it's a great show. I hope it works. Initially they were like #1 on new downloads and everything. So yeah, check it out.
Not us. We were.
Well, because we've been around for so long.
Oh,
No,
okay,
we're not
right.
new
We're not
downloads.
new
Yeah.
downloads.
Right, exactly.
331
Yeah,
in. Okay, fine.
Right.
Yeah. We're the Ira Glass of the automotive podcast world.
All right, I'll buy it. I like it.
Yep. Okay. Well, that's terrifying. Less terrifying. Ford shut down production of the F-150. Okay. According to a report from the Detroit Free Press, they stopped production of the 2024 truck last month in Dearborn and also at Kansas City from January 25th till February 1st. They blame a supplier issue, according to Owen Bellwood at Jalopnik, but both facilities are now running full shifts. But there's a temp work stoppage for 9,700 UAW workers. Apparently.
They're really bored.
Yeah.
What kind of mess can they get into if they got nothing to do?
If you're the guy whose job is to put the left front fender in the F-150 every day, you're used to being bored and mind-numbing, and yeah.
I suppose.
Oh, well.
As running a factory, I would never want 9,700 workers not doing a whole lot, because that's not great.
Nope.
Right after Christmas, when they've all got bills to pay. Nope.
Yeah. Right.
Yep. Oh, well. Hey, you know what? If you're one of those people sitting out, you need something to do. Do you want some open road feeling of wind in your helmet, but a Formula car is too much commitment and too expensive because you've not working as much as you used to? Well, how about a Thunder Roadster?
Yes.
Yeah. They seem pretty great. We've seen those at racing, that people seem to having a good time with them. And here's one. This is a 2007 Thunder Roadster. Now, for those that don't know what these are, it's a single seat, open wheel, I don't know, hybrid of a Formula car and a dirt car, but it's bigger than you think it is. It's motorcycle powered. It's got slick tires. It's the people that drive them look like they're having a great time. And this one has got a new engine and clutch, new fire bottle, a lot of other details, and it's really long description. Owner adds that they shares a lot of parts with Legends cars, and parts are available nationally, and the tires are only $125 each. So great. And this thing is, how much is this, Mental? I didn't see the price
is
listed on here.
$7,900.
You could have an incredible amount of fun. And every NASA race we've been to, there's been a decent sized class of these things. So you've got people to race with. You've got low consumable costs. It's probably easy to work on. Parts are available.
Did you
This
say
seems
there's
like
a
great way to go.
video?
There is.
Oh,
Why?
that's super.
Why?
Super
Here we
fun.
are. Yes.
It's not going to work on your computer. You're
Don't
gigablasting
think?
with your computer.
Well, it's going to record on my computer just fine.
Oh,
Because,
okay, great. We just can't see it. Cool video. Oh my.
and this is New Jersey.
Oh, it's in Delaware.
Well, the car's in Delaware.
Yeah.
Delaware's in Delaware. That's great.
Totally NJM.
Yeah, so he's at Lightning right now. And so just going through turn one, he's behind a McLaren, 670 or whatever. They're
It's
all
a little it's a little windy. Oh, because there's no
right.
Open roadster.
But he's just right
I know.
there with his McLaren all through the twisty bits. Yeah. Cool.
over the
Very
blind
cool.
hill. Ah! Lift.
Yep. We don't have to watch the whole thing.
They're almost done the lap, so
McLaren-
it's fine.
McLaren did it.
And then the McLaren takes off straight.
But
Yeah, as it does.
as they're coming, they come under the bridge, and right here's the don't put your hand
That
on
was
your
the
gas
good
corner. And he caught him again.
Well, so did the S2000 in front of him. That guy's McLaren's not doing so. No.
Okay, track's almost done. This is not great.
This is terrible
not great
podcast. To listen to.
I don't know.
Terrible
For
audio.
everyone that has a really good stereo in their car, it probably sounds fun.
It was a little
It's probably
windy.
wind noise.
Yeah. Fair
Well,
enough.
anyway.
All right.
Great. It sounds fun. If you buy it, tell me because I'm coming over.
And that
Yes.
seller definitely had a pro membership because that
Totally.
had the video
Hell
in
yeah.
it. It had a bunch of pictures and all that stuff. So that's great. $7,900 in Delaware. That's a bargain for the kind of racing you're going to get doing that.
Yeah, and it claims that you could run an entire season for less than a Spec Miata, which I don't doubt it.
You're probably going to replace fewer body panels. That's for sure.
Totally, yes.
Awesome. Okay.
Cool.
Upcoming races. So VA is for clunkers. Rally is this weekend. There are 36 cars entered. Some quick highlights: a Japanese market Renault Clio and a JDM Toyota Serra, which is a cool little car. Barfing Duck hasn't been a name in Lemon since 2011, so the guy raced here and there. Pretty cool to see them back. Many vans and GM B bodies. Duh. A goddamn Unimog from a dude who rallied the world's shittiest G-Wagon a few years ago. Mazda B2000 versus a Mitsubishi Mighty Max. There also may be a 52 Triumph Mayflower.
Those things are ridiculous.
Not sure if they're going to show up yet. There's also many other goodies. There's a Plymouth Duster. There's a Peugeot 505 and a 404. A Monte Carlo, a 95 Renault Lucia.
No clue.
Renault,
cool.
it does not matter.
Okay,
Very
and
well, go ahead and have a nap.
a Morris Minor, and other things. So should be a great time. There's not a
Absolutely.
normal car on that list. So
No. And if you're bored with all the Super Bowl nonsense this weekend, you should totally be following #Lemons Rally.
you could be doing both at the same time, actually.
Really good. Yeah,
Yep.
that's true. And unless you're a Kansas City fan, one's going to make you really, really happy. The other one probably won't.
Race the results time. I'm talking a lot here. Lemons was at Barber. We'll run through these and then Mental can tell us anything more. Winner on laps was Landshark in their 99 Civic. Class B went to Napoleon Complex in their Mini Cooper S. And
Finally, now they can get out of B.
right. Class C went to Cheap Thrills in their Caddy Eldorado.
eBay Heroic Fix was Popcorn's Revenge / Team Chevy Blunder in a 2000 S10. That's letting you remember what that was all about.
I do not, unfortunately, and I will
Okay.
share in a minute because we were having a bit of our own moments.
Got it. I got screwed was Für die Kinder in a 2012 BMW 328i. The regional sidetracked while dropping off Trip and Kaylee at swim practice was 6 million forms of domination in a 99 Mercedes E320 wagon.
Oh
that
my!
that one I did see because it was right across from
Oh,
us, and
I
it
love this.
was bone stock with a roll cage. It was like that bronze that they have.
That they all were. Yeah.
Yes, it was so glorious. Everyone loved that car.
Did it have any more of a theme?
No, it just,
Oh.
it was just this really clean
It's like-
Mercedes.
Bronze is not a theme.
It was just a really clean Mercedes E320 wagon. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's I think why the award makes sense. It's like, well, they took a wrong turn here.
I
trying to
like
right?
Trip and Kaylee spelled exactly how it should be, with 2 P's, and Kaylee is spelled the long
They're
way.
using the Gaelic spelling.
I love it.
Uh-huh.
It's my favorite.
Judge's choice was Bunny Motorworks and an 84 VW Rabbit diesel.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
have patience.
Organizer's choice was Battle Cat Racing You Don't Know Ditka in a glorious 95 Jaguar XJ6R. The R is important because when it was raining and I came around the corner and was presented with the entire broadside of that Jaguar, I thought, I wonder if that's the supercharged version. And the rear end got around them because, as we were all talking about it later, once the rear end steps out on that car, you're going to need a tugboat to bring it back. Halloween Meets Gasoline was Vandenball, and they also won the Road Mangler Cup. Now, before you say, oh, they're just giving Zach stuff again, they actually showed up. He had the All-Stars. Neil Losi was on his team, and they actually all showed up in character from the Cannonball Run. Neil was Sammy Davis Jr.'s priest outfit. He had the gold glasses, the cross and everything. And he's walking around with a highball glass and just spot on. Babe, I love what you're doing here. It's fabulous. Fabulous. He was on character. And of course they did the Vandenball thing. So they're rolling the van through the night, just picking up passengers, dropping them off, and everyone's drinking. They had a chic, they had everybody. It was excellent. They worked hard. And God knows he's going to need the tires. And the IOE was Team Blind Squirrels and a 93 Ford Escort. And it doesn't have it on here, but it was a wagon. Also a glorious Ford Escort wagon.
Oh, that had Eric's heart as soon as that turned up.
As it showed up. Yeah. All they had to do was not crash. And
Just
they did.
keep running.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Which, not crashing, harder than it sounds. And I'm going to do more bad podcasting and show everyone this, which will be on one of our social medias here in a bit. It's showing a red and blue Miata on the inside of the Corvette. I'm in the red, white, blue Miata. We are coming out of Charlotte's Web, and we are approaching the bridge.
That's why we can't hear you over the V8 awesomeness.
Fair enough.
Really?
At that moment, he knew he was screwed.
No one touches me. I just completely hydroplane, and down the wall I go. Bang, bang, bang.
Oh.
Yeah, you were just driving along, and then
it really was just obviously too fast for conditions. Massive props to the incredible skill of that Corvette driver, because I think we got within inches of each other. And then they immediately came over and said, hey, you guys want to see a cool video? And they were right. We did. It was awesome. So thanks for bringing that to us. That was fantastic. Great bit of driving. Great bit of bringing me the video.
How bad is the Miata after?
It was fine, actually. I was convinced as I'm just coming down the wall, I'm like, I'm going to have to buy Jerry a new Miata. Scratch the nose. Then after lunch, because it was raining so bad, most of the team didn't want to go back out. So they sent me back out. And I had another incident with another car because the visibility was really bad. And they came on the inside and they didn't see me and I didn't see them. And we traded paint and ended up in the mud again. And this time I broke a wheel. And after the second time I've gone into their lawn, the track manager kindly requested that my driver's band be removed.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't be mad. The second time I've torn up his grass. So they
Wow. Do they do that with multiple people? Is that a common thing?
I don't know. But yeah.
Just mental.
Yeah.
Who is that asshole that tore up my lawn again?
I'm not sure we've got that seat open at Pitt anymore.
So yeah, just today I was online and I'm drop shipping Jerry a set of wheels to replace the one that I broke. And oddly enough, the car that I tangled up with offered me a seat at Gingerman. So we'll see how that plays.
Oh, wow. That's surprising.
Yeah. So it was just, it really truly was a racing incident. I felt really bad.
Watch out in the rain.
Yeah,
Right?
pretty much. Yeah. And I mean, that's just what it did all day. That
Also-
weather you saw there, that's what it looked like. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, your other teammates, Smart SMRT,
We're not going out.
yeah, DUM. Yeah.
Anything else before we move on? Because we're not going to talk about this in the main topic. So
No, we are not. But it
Okay.
was Barbara. It was great seeing everybody. Tons of people. Everybody, like a lot
Yeah,
of
it was a
people
big
didn't
field.
know you were going to be here. Yeah, 135 cars.
what? That's a lot. That's a big
It
field,
was.
and the track's pretty big. But this is
Two
That's still a lot of
point,
cars.
2.3 miles on
Yeah, it
Sunday
is.
morning. 60 started. I don't think 60 finished.
60.
So yeah,
You said
half the field was just gone by.
60. Wow.
And it might have been like the choice of several of them. Talking with Schlavine and the guys that and the Napoleon, they said when it started raining like that, they just they've got an MR2. They put it in the truck. No, we're only going to be driving front wheel drive today. Probably would have been a smart choice. I probably should have also just stayed in the paddock.
Well, you did after you got lost your band, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, well,
Okay, cool. Moving on. Same weekend, Champ Car ran Road Atlanta for 14 hours, which, given the weather, was a smart play. Class D and first overall was Team Eddie Vedder in a 91 Corvette. Class C went second overall with Prefect Racing in a 94 SC 400. Class B went to 11th overall, Average Joe's in an 06 Miata, and Class A and 6th overall was Mad Wag in a 90 Miata. They even had two Class F cars, a Focus and a Miata, and the Focus won 47th overall.
well, I just want to say that I'm shocked that first overall was a 91 Corvette. It actually held together for the whole race. Like,
Somebody
what?
besides Jeff Hanka knows how to actually
What?
build themselves a C4. So
Wow.
Yeah, good for
they
them.
get that driver of the one that I hydroplaned in front of, man. They've got something going on now.
Yeah, right. That guy's doing a great job.
Okay, listener feedback time.
Now, this goes all the way back to our Project Car investigation episode, which I know my two co-hosts did not go back and watch, but you should, because I'm very proud of the intro that I created for the start of that program. So Tim B
Good to know.
said, Tim B said, thank you for the thought of making the project a puzzle. It's helping me chip away at my project of reinstalling the engine in my Corvette. So many things crammed in the engine bay of this thing.
It's probably fine. Agreed with our steps. Quote, first thing I do with any product is give it a thorough cleaning. It's really hard to get any enthusiasm to work on a car covered in dust, mold, mice droppings, and sticky change. You don't need to do a full detail until you determine what you're working with, but a half hour with a shop vac and a quick wash will work wonders on how much better it feels and smells to do actual work.
Oh my God, you love
Completely
him.
agree.
Uh-huh.
Yep. First thing I do is get the neighbor's pressure washer and
Yeah,
go to town.
there is something to be said about, if you're having to diagnose your project and you're just going, ew. Yeah, you don't want to have to do that.
We say that a lot. Mike K said the paint story is why sealed combustion heater with an exterior air combustion air and exhaust for everything is so nice. They are getting more reasonable. Maybe Christmas 2024. He also added an additional safety tip from our Sorry for Party pod episode. On just the tip, watch out for taking off safety glasses, goggles, face shield. That crap that accumulated on top of it, protective eyewear can easily drop into your eyes when take them off. Not that ever happened to me. It's a good one. I like it.
Now, Carl Mann went back even further with a question about caging when we talked about cage improvements for the winter. And he's clarifying to follow up on James' cage conversion. It's an RX-8, so the B pillar is practically in line with the back seats. We want to try and keep the suicide doors usable, but shaving into the doors for the cage clearance might be a no-go because the front edge of the back door fake B pillar door frame thing that the driver door latches to is pretty integral to the rear door working. He added, though, in lighter news, they made some big progress for the Volvo 240, which we will see at it.
Yay!
Big theme
And-
progress, which that's excellent. That car's had this a similar theme for quite a long time. So I'm very happy to see that because they do a lot with that car. It's always very stealthily like 12th for a
Yes.
barely stock Volvo 240. So
And they're
look-
they're a great team. And like
yeah,
basically he asked if we can't be, I remember he asked, if we can't be in C, can you just make everyone else B have penalty laps because they're not, they without any major investment, they're not going to be competitive, and they don't want to mess with the car that finishes all of its races and does really
yeah,
well, which
totally.
is
Oh,
probably
we
smarter.
have
Yeah.
been there
Mhm.
Yes.
all day.
Mhm.
Okay, lastly, Uncle Dave brought it back to safety. Open flame heaters can be very dangerous with burning fumes. Anything chlorine-based, like chlorinated brake clean, will burn and create phosphine gas. Ask how I know. Phosgene. Ask how I know. Any HVAC tech should be quite familiar.
Yeah, Phosgene's the real deal. But that's why most brake clean that they sell now is non-chlorinated because enough people were creating mustard gas basically. And
Oh,
yes,
great.
like this is stuff they used in World War II battlefields. Oh,
I
don't
shouldn't
do
make
that.
this in my residential
Actually,
garage.
I think World War One, but yeah, World War Two,
Yes.
they made it illegal to do in war. But
Yes.
yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I've just made it in my residential garage. So
Uh-huh.
super cool.
Yep. By the green can of brake fluid. No Phosgene. Yes.
Thanks, Uncle Dave.
Yep.
My dog. Okay. We're going to revisit flow state. We talked about it in Going Faster series, but it warrants another pass. What is it?
Now, your meditation circles describe it as, quote, a sense of fluidity between your body and mind, where you are totally absorbed by and deeply focused on something beyond the point of distraction. Time feels like it is slowed down. Your senses are heightened. You are at one with the task at hand as action and awareness sync to create an effortless momentum.
It sounds so like a meditation circle,
Yep. Well, mental turned on his hippie voice there. That's good.
right?
Yeah. He's attending the meditation retreat in
Oh, yes.
Arizona,
Uh-huh.
near Flagstaff for a while. Yes. Anyway, Ross Bentley defines it as, quote, you feel as though you have all the time in the world to do what you need to do. It's almost effortless. Things just happen. You're not thinking about the past or the future. You're in the moment, confident, immersed, absorbed in a task. And then he adds, and the process itself is enjoyable. No, make that gobs of fun, though they don't usually realize it until it's over. Yeah. A lot of us simply call it being in the zone.
Yep.
So, yes. So, we'll talk. We've got a good definition of it. If you've got a definition of it, let us know. But if you don't, it's just Art and Senna gave that great interview where he was talking about his win in the rain in Brazil, how he wasn't even aware he was telling the car to do something and the car was just doing it. And obviously, we're always trying to get there. I don't always get there, but how do you get there?
I don't know specifically. It's hard to like force it. You can't really force it. Like, you just have to have the circumstances right. And there are things you can do to make those circumstances better. But you can't just be out there having a bad time and suddenly say, oh, no, I'm going to be in the zone now. Click. Oh, okay, there it is. Thanks. I wish I had done that sooner.
Because then you would just do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like going to an AA meeting. You know what you should do? Just stop drinking. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, you can't force it. Yeah.
Nope.
I like your idea of I need to be in the right headspace. You have to, it comes with feeling good about where you're at, I think. So I feel like if you're ready to, you can't be having, it's exactly what you said. You can't be having a bad time and just say, I'm not having a good time. And then say I'm in the zone. I feel like you're ready for your stint, or good sleep, personal hype, and then you hope that the zone happens. I feel like you need to have the setup of all of these things have to be good, and then you get in the car, and then you can have the zone, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Like, you can't be worried about you can't be worried about too much. You can't be worried about, oh, like I know this car, like I'm nursing this stupid wheel bearing, and I know I cannot, like I'm going to be really careful about that. That helps keep it away because you're constantly worried about that. It helps when you're not like really specifically racing for something, like not when you're trying to win or get back a position, because it makes you focus on something too much. I don't know. I feel like it keeps you out of the moment exactly.
It is almost the opposite of like amping yourself up. Um, and having a realistic expectation of basing your intentions and your intended performance on factors within your control and not basing them on factors outside of your control. It's not, I'm going to get in the car and I'm going to pass the number 17 or the number whatever, because they may have more motor, grip, better driver, whatever it is. But it's getting into the car and understanding the task at hand. Hey, we're going to do really well if we can maintain this lap times, the 222s, in here to in here. And if I find myself still getting a little too kind of fast, sort of not forcing myself out of the car, but forcing myself to be aware of, oh man, that Alfa Romeo just sounds fantastic charging up that hill. That is really great. Oh, I love the bowl right here at New Hampshire. Oh, that was nice. I felt that one. And taking in not just the sights, but the sounds and the sensations and the input of everything at you, because racing, we've said 1,000 times, is a sensory assault, and just kind of adding a structure and an appreciation to that sensory assault puts you in a calmer state. And that's the best place to be in the zone.
You can't be too calm though. If you're too calm, you're going to be complacent and you're not going to be pushing enough to
Yeah.
elevate to that point where you feel like you're just rocking the world. But
Not
you also
yeah,
can't
just
go into it with your hair on fire. If you go into your hair on fire,
you're going to miss something.
and you're going to be too aggressive, too pushing too much, and you're going to be just it's not the right state. It's got to be, you have to kind of do it in like a neutral neutral plus positive state. Like I'm feeling good, the car's good, I'm happy with where I am, and then you go and then you concentrate on you and doing the best you can. But you have to be enough toward the like trying, not just getting through it, that you're pushing enough to get those little victories. Like, oh man, I got that apex perfectly, or oh, just that little dab of oversteer that I just caught just with a little flick of the wheel and then just back in the gas and powered right through that corner. Man, that was cool.
Mm-hmm. And there's
It's those kind of things you have to,
it's a
that
it's
you have to
definite
get.
connection to the vehicle. You're feeling like the vehicle is going to do what you want.
Well,
And
flow is the good word. It's
yeah.
not just it's flowing between you and the car
Mm-hmm.
and into through the tires, into the track. You feel what it's all doing, so you can just kind of make it do what you want it to do, and it
Mm-hmm.
does it. You're not forcing anything, and then, part of that is you have to have. I think you have to have a car that's set up in a way that you are comfortable with it. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the fastest way, but it's got to be a way that you're comfortable with it, that you can, it's the adage that comes to mind was the principle that they used in the design of the first Miata. I forget the Japanese term, but it's essentially horse and rider in as one is what the Japanese term is. So you need to be in that place, I think, to be able to get fully there. Instead of fighting something, you may be fast with it, but you're fighting it. You're not having a good time. You're not getting to that place where it's just effortless because you're fighting it.
So what's your best being in the zone story?
Chris has a great one.
I don't actually. I have no idea.
Oh, I thought you
No
used
clue.
to talk about this. There's a
Yeah, and I don't remember anymore. Yeah, I don't remember specific times. Like it's happened enough on and off that I don't like I can't pick it out anymore. It's once you've had an experience enough times, your brain stops recording it as much and it doesn't
He's in the zone
stand
all the
out.
time, so he just
I'm not all
doesn't.
the time.
No,
I'm in it enough.
I
I've
was
been in it
kidding.
enough times over the 60 something races we've had
Yes.
that I actually have a really hard time picking out a
Oh.
specific time. I've like general feelings. I think there's a couple times at Thompson, not the time we won, but other times where the car just was going great. And one time at Jersey, right after we put the turbo on, I just went out in testing day and I just had a ball as the car was set up just right. It was a riot and it was testing day, so I didn't really care. And I just had so much fun. I'm trying to think, it's really when I think of the times where I might be in the zone, it's the times I've had the most fun. It's like just like when you just kind of get out of the car and giggle. Like that was great.
Or you don't even wait till you're out of the car.
Yeah.
It's just that moment you're coming down the straightaway, you got the sweep of the gauges, you check your mirrors, you're going to turn one, and you just go, "This is so cool."
Yeah. Like I HPD once I did that. I think for one time I remember is with Vicky's Turbo NB. That car was a riot. Now Eric has it. And you could make it oversteer, you could make it understeer, you could make it do anything you want. You could do a dance on the 100% on that car. You want to go 105? Cool. 95%? Doesn't matter. You could do anything you want with that little car. And it was just a riot.
I feel like it's every video you've ever seen of Chris Harris, especially if it's slightly raining. He just when he puts the car on, he puts the zone on, and he's just everywhere he wants the car to be, it's going to be there precisely within that inch.
Do you have one?
Honestly, and it's shameless self-promotion, but my most recent and favorite one was Sunday at New Hampshire. I just, I've had this. I've even been in the zone in cars that I knew I was having to nurse, and it was just okay. I can do this. Oh man, this is what? It's still fun. It's I've got reduced parameters, but I understand my mission. I understand the car. We are connecting, and I'm trying to help it through this difficult period. But we were comfortable Sunday morning. We got into the car. We head out, and it just felt like we had the right car. We had the right team. I was rested. I was we weren't absurdly hungover. It wasn't ridiculously hot. It wasn't ridiculously cold. It was just because it didn't rain until, well, Chrissy got in the car. But at that point, and it just, I actually, the hardest part about that zone is I didn't want to fall so deep into it that I was going to make a mistake. And every now and again, I'd have to snap out and be like, you're not trying to be the fastest guy here. You're just trying to turn as many laps as you can and save the car. And I was just there until you guys called and said, "Hey, need you to," well, except for the one incident with the mayonnaise, but when you guys called it and said, "Hey, it's about time for you to come in." I'm like, "Oh, feel like I just got here. Oh yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right." And I wasn't tired. I wasn't sweating. I wasn't clenched. It was just, I could have stayed out there another 2 hours.
So I think the one of the few times that I can think of was one of the starts, not the time we won, not towards the end of the time of the Civic at Thompson start. So for years I started because we thought we would win there. And I was one of those that it was with the fuel cell, my charge was go 4 hours, go 3 hours, 45, whatever, you're going to get in for a really long time. And at start of the day, not too hot. I think it was one of those where I started with the setting yourself up for success, slept well, not hungover, getting ready to go. But it was one of those times where I feel like I don't realize how much time I was so focused and so, I wouldn't say comfortable because the Civic was never comfortable. And you say like,
Sure.
well, the car, you never fighting the car. Like we were always fighting the car, but there was that positive, and I think the positive thing for me made it so that the little wins made it so that it was fun, but it just kept, there was forward motion, and it was saying, well, I can get around that person. Well, I see a pile of traffic up in front of me. We're just going to rock through it. Okay, rocked through it. Let's go to the next one. And so that forward motion, and I looked down and be like, oh, an hour has gone by already. Cool. And so, doing that for knowing that you're going to be in for many hours, it felt like that, what Benta was saying, like, oh, I could go 2 more hours. I can't say that I got out and was like, yeah, things are great. Because when you drive the Civic for many hours, your body was
You're
not really
exhausted.
it's not
There's
like
no
I
way
was doing
around it.
jumping jacks when I was getting out.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's one of the times where I can remember that I got in with a good headspace, knew what I needed to do, and the time kind of just clicked off because I don't know if it was like this aura of beautiful zone, like, oh, I'm like your meditation circle zone. But I feel like that's one of the closest things I can think of a time when they went the way I went. And not to say that I didn't make mistakes and that kind of thing, but the time kind of flew away, and I don't really remember being like super hot, and it wasn't nursing the car at the time. I was like, the car should be fine. Go do what you need to do. And I don't at Thompson, I had no way to know what position I was in unless you told me. So just go do it, right? So like sometimes at Thompson at New Hampshire at Barber, I can look up and see what I'm at. So that the pressure is kind of like there, and especially if there's a yellow, then I'm like, where are we? Are we? Thompson, you don't know, so just keep going. So it's one of those things where like the unless somebody's talking to you, you don't have a whole lot of outside knowledge, which I think helps in things like that because the pressure is only what you tell me to. If you tell me to go faster, there's my pressure. If I tell myself to go faster, there's my pressure. But it's not me knowing what position I'm in and saying, well, we're trying to go for the win and you're in fourth, hurry up. That wasn't there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember that almost it was a different type of zone. And this is going to come off as really dickish, but it's not meant to be. But well, just we've talked about we were battling it out with a team that was trying to intimidate us at Thompson, and I remember, it was really getting into my space, and no, my job is drive the car, and I brought myself back to a calm spot and understanding my mission, and I was cooperating with the vehicle. I kind of came to a zone place of I need these guys to understand who I am. And I remember, having a very calm conversation with myself of, am I willing to write Chris and Chrissy a check for this car to prove a point? Yes. Yes, I am. I am willing to write them a check, and they're going to know why it says mental across the front of my helmet. And and I had a couple of those moments where they were going to squeeze me, and no, and it wasn't aggression. It wasn't stupid macho stuff. It was just, no, we're not going to do that this time. We're going to do what we want to do, what me and the car want to do. And what me and the car want to do is get through this corner faster than you. And it was, I couldn't maintain it because it was a high pressure environment, but I do remember having the glimpses of just being in the zone. And my mission, and the car was cooperating in that mission, was I'm the wild card. I'm the wacko. I'm the guy maybe you don't trust me in this corner. Who knows? Kind of a deal. And I was surprisingly comfortable with that. I say that now.
This is after the fact, much farther after the fact.
Yes. But I have zero intention of writing a check for the 3 ever.
You're gonna owe a lot more than a check. Might be our friendship. So just saying.
I was actually telling that story this weekend of how when everyone got into the 3, how nobody wanted to be the first one that have a dent in it. And poor Matt, got T-boned at New Jersey. And he's like, I don't want to come in and talk to Chrissy.
The tiniest little scratch in the back bumper. That's it.
Did he?
We're
I
all happy
lost.
that
I
Chrissy has
lost a
put all the other damage on that car.
whatever.
Uh-huh.
Two of them weren't my fault. One of them was. So fine.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Oh well.
Oh well.
All right. What's next? So it sounds great. What are we gonna do? What do we do next? Like we talked about potentially how to do it. How to now what? Mental.
So I have done a lot of reading and effort into this. Yeah, we make jokes about me being the hippie, but it's not a complete load of crap. You are not amping yourself up. This is not a football game. This is not. It is just absolutely you while recognizing your abilities and your limits and what you're good at and what you're bad at, it is still being comfortable with expanding those boundaries. And for me, the best trick to put myself in that is mind state awareness. And Chris has touched on this before. And it just remember a time when you were great. Just even if it was just a lap, even if it was just a corner, remember the sensation that you brought that car through that corner and you went, that was great. Not just the car going through the corner, put your entire consciousness at that time and place in your mind. Was it hot? Was it cold? Could you feel the wind going through the helmet? What did it sound like? What track were you at? What was the time of year? Was it sunny? Was it cloudy? But by remembering each of those details of a time when you were at your best, you can put your body, your pulse rate, your thought, your intentions in the same place where you were when you were at your best. And the
I
more
feel
you
like
can, the more you can do that, the more you can build those moments. You just have a big bucket of calming places where you were. And it is a physical remembrance of the sensations for something that was mental at the time. So by remembering the physical sensations of something you want to remember, you can put your entire mind in that place. Mind state awareness.
sounds great. Except I'm reminding myself of every time I was in the Civic and I was like, damn it, this is so freaking hot. I hate where I'm sitting. It is so hot. And what? What?
No, and that's valid. But
There's plenty of
now,
times where I had amazing times in the Civic and I was amazing. And then I died when I got out because I was like, I'm uncomfortable. I can't feel my arms. And my cool shit didn't work. And I'm dying of heat. I'm in an oven in a comforter. This is dumb.
but now you're sitting in your new race car going, this is not the Civic.
I know.
This is very calm. This is very comfortable. I'm wearing pants. This is great. I remember you talked about the Civic. I remember getting out of the Civic after doing a serious stint, and I was unprepared for how much it had physically taken out of me because I'd been in a good place. I'd been driving well and feeling good about it. And I got out and immediately felt my legs shaking. And I'm like,
Arms didn't work. Yeah.
that's never happened. But you guys all knew this. And that's why, like, anytime anybody drives more than 2 hours, you slap a bottle of water in their hand and point them at the fence.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. Yes.
That's all you can do.
especially when it was super hot. Then
Yeah.
we get the wagon and you drag you back to a chair. Like
Pretty
not
much.
pretty much. Yeah, like not even lying. Yes. But your answer is good.
I think the best I can do is recognize when I'm definitely not there and my head is in the wrong space. That is, I guess, the steps I would try to make sure is like when you realize I am not paying attention to the right things. My eyes are too far down. I am getting reactive instead of proactive.
You do that? You do this?
It
What?
happens once in a while.
What?
And
No.
I catch myself. No, stop it. Stop it. This is not how you drive. This is not you. Get your shit together and let's drive correctly. And you take a few deep breaths, you recenter yourself, you go back to the things that you know are good and focus. And one stupid little thing that it was in a Ross Bentley Speed Secrets email years ago. I don't know why this works, but when you're in one of those spots, you need to focus a little bit. Point the tip of your tongue at the roof of your mouth.
It's a chakra. It's a yoga trick. Absolutely, it works. Yeah.
And it helps you kind of stop and focus and calm down. And you just do it for a little bit. And everyone's doing it right now when you're listening, right?
Yeah, right?
Forces your jaw open a little bit, forces you to relax. Yeah.
Yep. Just do that for a second. It breaks you of your headspace. And then get back to the good you. Get back to the good driving, to the good habits, to the good behaviors, like reset. But you have to have the self-awareness to realize this isn't right. This is not going the way I want it to go. I am not being the driver I want to be. Stop it. Don't just try to force it. Don't try to just work with it. Reset your head so that you can get out of that bad space. Or even doesn't have to be bad yet. It can just be going the wrong way. It's like, you have a close call. Like, I should have saw that. Like, what was I doing there? That was a bad position. That was a bad line. That was a bad, I didn't look at that corner work early enough. Like, whatever it was. Reset yourself before it gets bad. Then that gets you back toward the place where you can get toward being in the zone again. But you have to catch yourself to avoid it.
But I like not the negative self-talk, which just goes along with mental's hippiness when you're saying, no, it's bad.
Think of your good self as like a few seats over, at your, at a ball game, and you're sitting there and you look over and there's your good self, and your good self's going, hey, come on over here. Just come on over here. There it is. Just going to make a slight adjustment. You're going to sit right here. You're gonna have a great time.
I got an extra beer over here. Come on. Have a
Oh,
seat.
there it is. Your good self always has a spare seat and an extra beer.
Oh, what?
I say your good self always has a spare seat and an extra beer. Just go sit next to your good self. They're fun.
Cool.
And
the
other dumb game I'll play with myself is if I find one of the key indications for me that I'm going the wrong way is, I start to tense up and I'm like, oh, you're not doing this right. Do better. You're letting your end. It does kind of lead to a negative self-talk. And I say this in life. I say this in the car. I say this to myself on road trips is
written on your arm.
Right. I was like, quite the reminder.
This one isn't written on my arm, but if 12-year-old you was sitting next to you in the car right now, 12-year-old you, no matter what you're doing, 12-year-old you would look over and go, this is so cool. Unless 12-year-old you was racing GT Cup for the opener of Formula One race at Monaco, your 12-year-old self thinks that what you are doing right now is the coolest thing ever. And you're not going to impress 12-year-old you by being all tense and angry. You're going to impress 12-year-old you by being your best driver.
Oh, that's so hippie. And then I'm like, oh, my husband is looking at race monitor right now and he's telling me that I'm not going fast enough. So, 12-year-old.
He has never said that. Not once has he ever said, Chrissy's not going fast enough.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he has, but okay. Not when you're around.
He kept it to himself.
Well, thanks. So
actually, what he's doing is like, man, Chrissy just put us up like 4 places. Oh man, Chrissy we just went from 16th to the top 10. Bam.
We just went from 92nd to 91st. Woo.
Well, at that point, I'm definitely not watching. When we've had one of those days.
Oh,
yeah. If you're 92nd, he's loading the trailer, but
it's casual racing with friends at that point. It's
right.
like, all right, who's suited up and wants to go? Anybody? Who's around?
No, you know what? I have a beer in my hand. I'm good. Thanks.
Yeah. We're eating ice cream.
Ice cream. Ice cream. Well, good. Right. This was a fun topic. I don't know that we were helpful, but hopefully people have good stories. That's what I'm hopeful. Tell us your stories. I want to hear it. I hope that there's a beautiful aura that somebody saw that said like little thing that said, this person is in the zone. And there's a little finger pointing at them. I
Yes.
hope.
Except you don't want to get their finger pointed at too much. Then you'll feel bad. Don't
It's
finger
a,
pointing.
yeah, I guess so. Okay, never mind. There's a little rainbow
Oh,
above their head that
oh,
says,
perfect.
I'm in their
Rainbows.
zone.
Like the more you know star.
Right, that's exactly what I was
Right.
thinking of. Do-do-do-do. You're in the zone. Ah, I love it. We're gonna do that. Ah.
So Ian Peterson was on Bid Nerds and we covered a Ranchero. And Ian's only comment on the Ranchero that was for auction was, I have a running tally of band/album names in my head. And when I see this one, fingered in the back of a Ranchero comes to mind. And Chris is like, nobody likes the finger. Nobody likes the finger being.
Oh.
So be in the zone. Don't be finger banged in the back of a Ranchero.
So bad. What's so wrong?
See, we're no longer in the zone. We're
We're not in the zone. We're in the no, we're in the end. We're in the end zone. That's where we are. Wow, this is too much. Okay. Has anybody got anything good to end this show?
Yeah, you're the safety professional. What did you write up as your safety topic this
You know
week?
what? Today's this week's safety topic is compressed air. And talking about
great.
compressed air, it is. And I know all of you, and even Chris thinks it's a fine thing, is blowing anything off of your clothes with compressed air. It is not good. You should not use compressed
so
air.
Refreshing.
It is.
Summer, though.
I don't care. You have stuff debris on your clothes,
Yeah,
and if
after
you're
sanding the boat in the summer and I'm covered in fiberglass and gel coat,
it's a great idea because even if you have safety glasses on,
put on your safety squints.
I'm rolling my eyes at you. Don't.
She actually has good advice here because we all do this.
Thanks, ass. Right, and this is what happens at work. So we deal with some flying pieces, and there's plenty of my operations have debris that gets on people, and you don't spray it on your clothes. And one of the bigger things is that if you're spraying it, you're using air compressor to blow, even if you're just blowing off a piece of a piece of equipment or whatever you're using the air to remove some kind of debris. You never know where the debris is going. So if somebody's around you, if somebody's behind you, or if it's like now it's just going onto the ground that is somewhere where somebody's going to walk with no socks on, you're like, I don't know, you never know where it's going to go. So just be careful and try to not use it for things you don't need to just clean off things. And if you are going to clean off, that super great safety tip in listener feedback, which is great because you can spray all you want, but doesn't mean that it's not on the outside of your safety glasses, sitting on the top of your safety glasses. Now it might be more in your hair, and then when you go to rub your hair, now it's back in your eyes. So compressed air is more dangerous than I think we think it is. Mic drop.
You've actually said that to me. I think I was doing something, and I believe it or not, I have taken that to heart.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I don't use the compressed air.
My husband doesn't.
I will use the leaf blower, but I feel like because I can modulate that a little more, and it's not like as brutal as the compressed air on this one. But also, like especially if it's just absurdly hot, I just go and jump in my swimming pool, which will actually wash most stuff off. But if you'd have told me my hair was in danger right from the word go, man, I would have never, ever used, now I'm totally out of the zone because I'm totally worried about the damage I've done to my hair over the years.
I mean, just saying. Chances are you washed it enough that it's probably okay, but you never know in the moment.
Don't hurt your hair. Oh,
right?
No. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't hurt your hair.
Yeah.
Duh.
Okay, that's enough for today. This has been too much. Okay, next show, we know we're going to talk about. I'm so excited. Do you know what a T drive is? Chances are, if you were at New Hampshire or
I was at the press launch.
I was there too.
Right.
They were at Jersey, I think, too. You're going to know about it. They're two of the smartest guests we've ever had. They're going to walk you through their bad ideas and inspire you to do something really silly. Cheese Bolt Enterprises are going to join us. So excited. They're excited too. They're so excited. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We say this every week. It's going to be a great show. They are great people. This is going to be a great show. You really want to tune in for this one.
And there's no way that any of us can possibly explain the T-Drive concept as well as they. That's why I never even tried. It's like we're just going to have them talk about it.
Google it.
That's the only way. Yeah. It's ridiculous. The right kind of ridiculous, though.
It is so the right kind of ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right. Well, anything else?
Come on, you like you didn't know it was the end
anything
of the
else you guys want to talk about? You know, that'd be nice.
Come on, you don't know it's the end of the show.
It's been a couple weeks, so that makes it a little harder, right?
No, nope.
Mental. Any other good stories from
I
Barbara?
ad libbed a safety talk for you, and you still didn't help me out here.
Maybe it's just the position. Like you're just always going to be cursed with whoever has to do this job.
Oh, check it off. Chris's
the curse of the wires.
Chris's stuff doesn't work.
Nothing works.
It's the curse of the wires.
There's no wires even. I know. There's not even any wires.
You know what?
It's a long story.
Just read it dry.
It doesn't matter at all. Yeah. How about this? Yeah, we're just doing it on the phone. Anyway, hey, thanks for downloading us. We hope you enjoyed this week's terrible tech edition of Everyone Racers. Also hope you'll join us in the world of driving, racing, building, and being in the zone, because everyone can be a racer, even people who can't even operate a Bluetooth speaker. If you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe. It's totally free, and that's why you paid nothing for it. You listen tonight. Then go to iTunes, give us that 5-star rating. Tell us how bad we are at tech things, and we'll read that on the air, no doubt. Questions, show ideas, drop us a comment. Everyone Racers on Facebook, everyone.racers@gmail, everyone Racers at any other place basically on the internet. Text Mental pictures of your junk. He is the one person who likes to get junk pictures. 484-243-0455. Yeah, and until next week, keep that shiny side up. Unless you're so far in the zone that all you see is the more you know you're in the zone rainbow. And then you're doing great. Thanks, everybody.
I have to expand this far enough out because I'm using the
You're
laptop
in the zone
to get the stop recording. There it is. All right.